And we've just hired and brought on Tom Callis. He's supporting our communications team.
I didn't hear my name mentioned.
And yes,
or
we
Mr.
do- yeah,
Caneli E.
yes.
Kleinfelders. We represent
Yes.
Puna, and I know
Yeah.
that we are in elected positions,
Yes.
but we have the support of, I'd like to think, our community. And in my particular situation, I worked with a number of community folks to stand up Pu'uhonua o Puna. I was there day in, day out.
Yes.
I know the needs of the community. And so the interim recovery strategy, which you've mentioned to the council, I rewrote it because I wanted to make sure it was reflective of community sentiments. And I know that we have restarted meeting, and that's helpful. But I think as we move forward, we need to have a better process that's more inclusive and a way to bring in the community's mana'o. I totally respect and appreciate every single one of those names that you mentioned that are helping to support recovery. But I'm not happy with how things have progressed so far. I have a question about impact status surveys. Because the same day that we were getting information about TMT, I received 3 separate emails related to eruption recovery. And that concerns me because one was about a speak out that was happening 10 days later. Then there was stuff about the Institute for Sustainable Development and the team being brought in to help with economic recovery planning, which was very important. And then the third was a press release about the impact status survey. And I read the press release, and I was very surprised to learn that council members were going to be provided hard copies because I went to check the mail and I didn't have hard copies. And we connected with the media contact who had no idea about hard copies being transmitted to council members. I'm not trying to embarrass anybody, but I think that there's so many silos still. And that with this recovery process, what's happened is by habit, we've leaned on the silos we currently operate in with county operations. I don't want recovery to be another project that's managed. This is a huge opportunity that I don't want squandered. There's choke money coming in, so much money dedicated for the uplift of our community. It can do more than just shift the tide. It can bring about that sea change that we've always needed in Puna. You know, Diane, you live in the Puna community.
I do.
Your family lost in the lava flow, so you get it, and I appreciate your heart and your dedication and commitment. So I was a little upset, I have to share with you, about these impact status surveys. It's gonna take you 35 minutes to take 3 surveys. Raise your hand in here, Puna, if you've taken the survey. Okay, I knew you guys were gonna take it. But I've talked to a number of folks. They're like, Ash, I don't have time. And I'm like, no, but I need you to share what is on your heart and mind because this will help us in our decision making. So take a look at this postcard. Raise your hand if you have the QR code app on your phone. Does everybody know what a QR code is? Jules, you don't count because you're IT. So it's this little pixelated square here, and there's an app on your phone, and if you click it, it takes you to a website. I don't have it on my phone, and I'm kind of a techie person. I asked my staff, do you have it on your phone? They said no. I'm like, great, download it. Ash, I gotta pay in order to access the free trial for a few days. And then I looked at the URL. This is a beautiful postcard, by the way. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. But I came from PR and communications. I made dozens and dozens of these for clients. So I look at these with a very critical eye. Imagine typing in https://recovery.hawaiicounty.gov/connect/impact-status-survey-suite/. Would it have been easier to just say, go to recovery.hawaii.gov or hawaiicounty.gov and click on the red button to take a survey? I mean, right there, just having to sit here and type that into the computer, I think turns a lot of people away. And the back and forth around when the surveys needed to be completed by. I have a new version of this where it says the surveys are available online through August 30th, but originally the date was August 4th to collect the data needed for tonight's meeting, which I'm missing. I'm very sorry. There's a special Puna CDP Action Committee meeting where the AC is going to review these priorities and objectives. So all of that mana'o was going to be quantified, qualified, presented to the AC so they could discuss. Now we've expended the deadline. The postcard that I got in the mail came on Saturday, and it advertised the speak out that happened the week before. Oh, and here's another one, right? This postcard's going to Israel. So I'm curious as to the list and its development, because why do we care about people in Israel, Australia, French Polynesia, Japan, all places this postcard has gone to? $10,925 in postage alone, not to mention time and materials to get these beautiful postcards out. Was there consideration to doing targeted ads on Facebook where you could test photos, messaging, and see what is compelling people to click and take the survey? Maybe could have spent $250, $500. This is the kind of money could have cut Lighthouse Road. And I know that there's a FEMA process around that, and I'm ready to give $7,500 to that community out of my own contingency relief funds to get them home. But I know I cannot because there's a process. I'm just tired of the process. I'm tired of the system. I'm tired of the silos. I'm tired of the apologies. I'm tired of looking at folks like Nicolette Dervis in the eye and say, please be patient, please wait, I aloha you, we're working really hard. I don't know what to say.
Well, if I may, the postcards were a decision that was made based on community input. We were criticized for not communicating with all property owners. So the decision was made to mail out to all property owners within Puna. And it was a conscious decision whether or not to send postcards to foreign countries. And I said, yes, they are property owners. They have a right to understand what's going on. And we hope that through the website at minimum, because that website address is there, that they would be able to connect and be able to start receiving information, regardless of whether they live in Puna or they live in Japan or Israel. So that was one item. When we explored, we're government, so we do need to be judicious with our financial resources because they're public dollars. We explored having a commercial operation do the mailing so that it would be more timely. The cost was excessive, we felt, so we worked with within the county to secure the mailing and get that done. Unfortunately, we had machine breakdown and other work that got in the way. I apologize. I haven't been apologizing very often, but I'm going to apologize that I wasn't aware of the details that was going so slowly. They came to me and they said, we're not going to get these all done by the 4th. And I said, that's okay. The important information, there's still important information in there. We can get it out. And then we changed the date and extended it. We extended it twice, and we'll continue to receive information. We're not perfect. We're doing what we can. We had various people review the postcard and give it its okay and blessing. We're trying to be both modern as well as practical in getting information out. We have a lot to do, all of us, and so we're doing what we can every day.
I don't question the intention. I question the timing. If we knew these surveys were going out, and if we knew that we needed to communicate better, why were they going out so late, knowing that we had to send 50,000 out. It wasn't going to happen in 3 days.
We recognize that, and we started much earlier on the process, and it takes a long time. There's many people we have to go through and many places we have to touch. And when it comes to spending public dollars, again, going out for following the procurement process is time-consuming. And so that, that's the track we were headed down, and then we said that's going to cost too much, so.
Joe? Hi. Your office, have they been consulted about the land trust? You guys have given your thumbs up on moving that forward. Love the idea, love the concept. Councilmember Leloy and I have been going to meetings about this concept since November, but I haven't really heard from your office.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. I only know that it's a pilot concept right now, so it's just something to be tested out.
Have you weighed in on the pilot concept, though?
No, not yet.
Do you plan to before we utilize 100,000 in public funds?
I'm going to have, we have one deputy who's been involved, and so I'm going to talk to him. So we had Ronald Kim, who's been assigned. So I'll have him weigh in on it.
Okay, Ron is fantastic. I trust his judgment. Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
May I add to that? I think that there may be perceptions that this project is a lot further along than it is. Again, the Recovery Committee is working with a number of entities to explore the options. No agreements have been reached. No decisions have been reached. It's exploratory.
Director Lay, I have a number of Ohana that come to me that are working families, firefighters, fishermen, teachers, who lost everything or can't get home, and they've exhausted many avenues, SBA, FEMA. They can't qualify for the low-interest loans or the subsidies because they make too much. What resources are available to them? Can we consider revolving loan program? Not something managed by the county, because that's a lot of paperwork, but potentially with, I probably shouldn't name them, but there are community groups that exist that may be able to help us get that kokua out. I'm just concerned about there are some needs people need to resolve, and they don't need a lot. They might need $5,000. They might need $10,000. They're willing to take out a loan, but they've exhausted all the options. So I'm curious, what's available to them?
Roy Takimoto was supposed to be here to address those questions. So it has been on the table as an option we looked at the county to reestablish a revolving loan fund, possibly under the, or I should say, not possibly, to refund the revolving loan program that had been under the Office of Housing and Community Development. I don't know the status of that. Apparently Roy had other obligations, so we'll have to get back to you on that. It has been on the table for part of the housing options, a menu of options.
Thank you, Ms. Kirkowitz. Ms. Poindexter, go ahead.
Yeah, on the team that you talked about, are there any association members or like the president of, I'm reading Andy Andrews, president for the Leilani Community Association, and how he says, we have residents and leaders who are right now working tirelessly to restore the safety, infrastructure, and beauty that are the proud hallmarks of Leilani Estates. What we lack is sufficient funding to make all of this happen. I don't know if they're at the table or not.
Much of the planning process and the functional areas are government related. So we hired a team. We have a large team that is focused all working hours on community engagement. And some of the representation that the county has not engaged with the different homeowners association, I feel is not exactly fair. We have engaged in various ways. Myself, I have met with most of the homeowners associations, including the combined association of Imua Puna. The mayor has met. The managing director has met. Our community engagement team, which consists of multiple employees and 2 vistas that are working full-time on community engagement. They've been out speaking both with associations as well as not everybody is comfortable or represented by a board. They're not always comfortable coming to a board meeting or a hosted association meeting. So we've made an intentional effort to get out there to hear what the community wants, what their needs are. And that effort has resulted in over 1,000 people speaking with us. That's over 800 adults and over 200 youth within Puna District. This has been an engagement in people's backyards, in people's carports, at churches, schools, community association buildings, wherever people wanted us to meet, we met. And so that's those are some of the direct contact points.
I would love to have them at the table, because then the rest of the community knows that they'll be at the table. We got to somehow be able to build healthy communities through their associations. And if some are not participating, maybe this is a way to help those associations build community, because we're going to fall off at some point, yeah? And you're still going to have the community associations there and the people who are just kind of disconnected.
I think it's important for us to remember that if we're going to break out of silo mentalities and we're going to fix what's happening, then we're going to have to work together. I haven't met with you as much as I should have. I think we should meet more. It sounds like you and Ashley and I should sit down together and discuss things and maybe work out plans that can get what is wanted done. But we are going to have to sit down and work together. I'm not going to blame you for not moving fast enough. I don't feel that that's going to be productive. It is late. It's late in the day, but as a boss in the field, as a crew leader, I can butt heads with you and tell you, hey, I want it faster. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have to come over there and I have to work with you to get it done quicker. That's what I have to do. It's easy to sit in the chair and say, hey, do it faster, get it done. That's the office mentality, and that always bothered me. So can we help you get it done quicker? If we combine legislative body with R&D, and you short a man too. You just lost Ron. So you're short, you're second in command, and we're expecting you to get stuff done faster. Sorry, I almost said it. But I think shrimp. But without jumping on that side and working with you, and it's like that classic picture of the leader and the boss. You have a boss who's going to sit there and snap the whip, and then you have the leader who's going to jump in and help push the block up the hill. So I think it may be time for us to jump in and be part of it, because we can complain about everything she's doing. We can get mad, we can get frustrated, but at the end of the day, if we're not helping her push the block up the hill right next to her or in R&D's office, then I don't know that we're going to get the headway that the community is telling us. We maybe not translating to her, and I don't know. That's just I'm watching I'm watching this unfold, and I've been watching this for months, and we keep pushing and saying more and more, faster, faster. But there's a process here we're dealing with, and the process is frustrating, and we know that. And I knew that walking in that this was going to be hard. People told me that you're going to be frustrated with the process because the process is so long and so constraining.
Yeah, government doesn't work at the speed the community always wants, but we are responsible to all of the community, not individuals within the community. And so we have to follow the law, follow the rules, and yeah, but at the same time, work creatively. So we do welcome input, so.
So I took it upon myself with Ms. Kirkowitz, using the skill sets that I had, to help craft and draft some of the policy that was needed for the recovery piece. And so there's just two more parts, legislative parts, that have to come forward. One is the resolution, and one is the amendment to a section of our code. And unfortunately or fortunately, because of the Sunshine Law, some of this stuff has to happen with Ashley, myself, and the recovery team. But you're absolutely right. I mentioned this a month ago. This is a perfect transition period for myself and Ms. Kirkowitz to present on that side of the table with the administration the resolution and the code amendments that have to happen. And then I welcome a tag out, Mr. Kaniali'i, because it is your community. We will have developed the framework on moving this money through the community and getting some of these things done. I'm frustrated because we are a year later still talking about the same things. So with that, Diane, I always stand ready to help, but we have a number of skill sets right here on the council: land use skill sets, community engagement, understanding processes. The administration really, and it's not just you, Diane, I know you have some other bosses, but we gotta work together. The community deserves that partnership. And I gave my commitment to you and Roy, as did Ms. Kirkowitz, over a month ago, that we would sit on that side of the table as we present the resolution and the code amendments to demonstrate how the council, as a legislative body, is working in partnership with the administration to serve community. That's what we're after. So I like this actually because I like clearing the air so that we all can get back to work.
And I know you didn't, volunteer for this job, right? Oh yeah, hey Mayor, assign me to this task, right? We all know that. But you're in that seat now, and I guess one of the themes of what has been said today is we're here to help, and I think at least a few of us, if not all of us, have at one time or another told the mayor, and maybe you, we're here to help. Just engage us. We have all these different skill sets, these resources, and if the administration is going to be the leader, then just pull in all these different resources and skill sets. Let us know how we can be a part of the solution. I haven't seen that yet. And now Matt is saying, well, now it's time for us to, kind of push you guys. I mean, I think that's what you said. Well, I don't know. It was a little bit different from that. It wasn't really with. It was like maybe helping, move.
Instead of this,
Well,
you do this. Let's go together.
yeah, well, yeah, when you do this, it's like pushing, right?
We all stand together.
Not like this, right? But anyway, and if it sounds like a criticism, I'm trying to do my best to make it really positive. But let's go back in time here. I had tasked some of the members on this council to do one thing at the very beginning, and that was to secure funding at the state legislature. That was the top priority at that time, okay? And if we also think back What was the major impediment at that time? Lack of specificity. That was being asked for by the legislature. We had to work through that. And quite frankly, I gotta say this. Our team got that money without any specificity because we were still waiting, but the legislature was gonna end already, yeah? And they came through. And I still don't see it, Diane, and it's not your fault. I think it's just a function of people not really working together. And I saw this, several months ago, actually, when Nancy was at our one of our meetings, and she's always so nice and pleasant, but even she showed some frustration. We had a big opportunity at the front end to engage the community and get them mobilized and moving forward really hard. I think we lost them. We have to somehow re-engage them, re-energize them. I don't know how that's going to be done, though. I really don't. These are my concerns. Like, for example, let's go back today even. We talk about speed humps, right? Everybody here is pleading with the administration, please just put in those 3 speed humps, right? Very simple, but no, there's a process. We have to do things and it takes a while. You weren't here. None of you guys were here. But it seems like a very simple thing, and I quite frankly think it could be done simply. Same thing with that road and the 700-foot finger of lava. I know everybody's saying there's a process, but there's gotta be a way around it. There has to be. How can government run so inefficiently? Cannot be like that.